Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Do we have people here already? Let me see. Yeah, we have a few people here already watching us. Uh, there's a little delay on YouTube. I am Peterson Rodriguez. I am the founder of D20 Culture, and I am the creator of the entropy system, which is the one Justice League runs with. Justice League is our first game on that engine, and I've been together with Lucas, which is my partner on game design. But I have more people working with us. We have Mark Wade, as you've seen, have seen him in several posts and the actual play that is here in that channel. And he's a co-author of the game with us in terms of lore, power scaling, and much more. But we also have Cam Banks, which is a very famous name to those used to role-playing games, mostly superhero role-playing games. Cam has been here and there and worked with Marvel Heroics, and Supernatural and Smallville and many other games. And he's with us now as a lead editor to help us shape up the game and let everything tiptoe ready to be published. I got several questions online from many platforms that we asked people. So we got questions on Discord, we got questions on Instagram, and some forums as well. And I'll be doing my best to answer the most of them. Let me see here. Starting with the question, one of the first questions we got, and is the most that is coming back again very often, is when the game is due to be released and what is the status of the material right now of the books, how they are right now. We got set with a Gamefound date of July 21st. It's up to possible changes depending on many variations, and we'll be on San Diego Comic Con talking about the game and promoting the game during that date. So it's going to be on that week, July 21st or July 22nd or July 23rd, something around that. We still not decided completely the date, but we are really we expecting to be July 21st. And the status of the material right now, as they are, we have for the upcoming release, we're going to have 3 books. So as you can see here on the thumbnail, 3 books we have here. We're going to have the core rule book, and the core rule book is it's a rule book that will bring everything you need to run your adventures with the Justice League. And in mind, you're going to have threats, you're going to have powers, you're going to have rules to design your own character, but also we're going to have the legacy characters. The legacy characters, they are the iconic ones that have been around for the DC for the last 85 years. So if you want to play like Damian Wayne or Alan Scott, like we had on the best actual play, or you want to play with Superman and Batman or characters like that, we're going to have the legacy mode, and the legacy mode will bring opportunity to play with iconic characters. But if you want to design your own character, which is a question that comes very often, pops very often in our socials. Can I design my own characters? Of course you can. And in terms of powers and the character possibilities, we're gonna have around, I don't know. Let me see here. Let me just confirm the number. We're gonna have around 8 archetypes and 10 origins on the core rulebook. So with a quick play, with a quick start, you have a glimpse of what the game will bring. But with the full material, of course, you're gonna have several origins. You're gonna have different origins from what we presented in Brazilian material and the international material. So you're gonna have, for example, you're gonna have mythical origins. You're gonna have other alien origins. You're gonna have a speedster origin as well. the speedster will be a separated kind of meta-human. So you're going to have the meta-human where you have access to all kinds of powers, and you're going to have the speedster when you're going to have only the speed force, which is a power very, very complex that can bring you many, many different traits. And in terms of Speed Force, people ask as well how we made to balance the Speed Force, and we are very privileged to be working with Mark Wade in that game because Mark was the creator of Speed Force. So he first mentioned and designed it. So he knows very well the boundaries and the thresholds we have to achieve to the power be satisfactory. But even him says, I don't know what Speed Force is today. Speed Force is much more than we designed. But we did our best to bring the most relevant powers and the most relevant abilities of Speed Force to the table. So Speed Force is not gonna stay isn't gonna stay part of the MetaHuman kits. No, Speed Force is gonna be exclusive to the Speedster origin. The MetaHuman will have access to the superhuman speed. So you can have superhuman speed, but and they cannot mix together. So you can't have Speed Force and superhuman speed. That's some of the things we are working. Of course, the books they are written. We have the core rule book, as I mentioned. We have the Watchtower book, which brings some adventures for each tier. So you're gonna have adventures for tier, G tier and C and B and A and S, and also a more broadened description of the Watchtower. We have several materials from the comic itself, but also a lot of materials that came from Mark's research to develop the Justice League Unlimited comic book, and we're gonna bring all that to the Watchtower supplement, and that material will bring kind of a broad overview of the areas of the Watchtower, what you can do there, what you can found, people you can meet, and things like that, and original adventures that you can play as part of a campaign or as one or two shots. And we have also the threats and crisis protocol. And the threat and crisis protocol, the protocol is a book that brings generic foes like kaijus and vampires and robots, drones, these kind of things that you face, nameless enemies you can face in different scenarios. So this book will bring that kind of approach to the game. All those three books, as they are right now, they are written already. So before we start the live campaign on Gamefound, the books are written already. So with the books written already, we are now in the part of editing it and improving it. That's where Cam works. That's when Cam works. Really kicks in, because he will be the responsible to improve the general experience in playing the game and the general understanding of the powers and how it works and how it combines one with each other. So that's where we are right now. We are improving the material, polishing the material, and making it more, ready for publishing. That's the main status of where we are right now. But we have more questions here that I'll be. This live is mostly a Q&A to answer most of the questions. So I'm gonna get some of the questions I got on Instagram, and let's talk about them. Let's go. There's more here, I guess. Yeah, the characters can be their own, right? Yeah, that's what I was talking about a moment ago. You can have your own characters. You can design your own characters. That's something that works really well with the book, because you can be in partnership with Batman. You can be a friend of a Superman. You can be part of the Lantern Corps. So you can design your own character, not necessarily attached to any kind of strings, but you can design someone that you can be a Kryptonian, for example. You can be part of the Bat family. You can design, or a completely new character. You can design something that's completely new, different alien species. Your creativity will be the guide for that character creation. And the book will provide, as I mentioned, several origins and several archetypes and more than 75 powers. So with 75 powers in a game that is mostly narrative driven, you can virtually do anything with that combination. You can do any kind of character. If you're risking or if you give a different flavor to powers, uh, you can do virtually anything. Any kind of character is possible with the material we are initially providing. But we have more questions here on Instagram. Let's go to Instagram, then I go to Discord. Will this require a specific set of dice, or will regular D&D dice work? Yeah, the regular dice will work. We're gonna use D20 for checks and rolls. You're gonna use D12 and D6 and D8 for damage output. So most of the game you'll be rolling a D20 to checks and rolls and things like that against the tension of the scene, or against the defense of the adversary, or against or in an attribute check. So you roll d20, and you have per tier you have your damage dice, which is d6 and d8 and d12. So you can have regular dice to play the game. You don't have different specific or any kind of fancy dice to play the game. The dice you have already can be the ones you use to play it. But we are bringing to this crowdfunding a very luxurious material, which is our stone and metal dice. We're going to have stone and metal dice. They are custom for the game, and we're going to have the Superman and Batman, Aquaman. We're going to have a Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern dice. So you can have a full set of the character of your choice. And one of the things that people ask regarding dice as well is that we have on our Gamefound page a follow and get a gift campaign, and how that campaign works. You follow the campaign on Gamefound. You go there and follow, click, subscribe and things like that. And when the live campaign is open, you pledge with any tier within that contains physical book, and with that you will get your free dice. That free dice, it's a part of a set that you can buy separately as add-on to buy all the other founders dice. So you get, for example, let's suppose you choose the flash dice, the flash die, and you wanna also Wonder Woman and Green Lantern. You wanna all the other founder D20, and how do you have that on the live campaign? You're gonna have that available to be bought, to be pledged as an add-on. So you can go there in live campaign and get it as an add-on. All right. And many people have been asking if they're going to have other different kinds of dice, and you're going to have different kinds of dice for villains, and you're going to have a whole set of dice to be collected. Is something, as myself a dice goblin, I'm gonna we here being developing games that we are that games that we would bought if weren't developed by us. So we gonna put a material with a book that is one that we are proud of, a campaign that we'll be proud of, and one we would back as backers. That is something we are really keen to deliver. But we have more questions here on Instagram. There, oh my gosh, that was a lot. Let me see one more. Some of them I already answered. I'm gonna focus on Instagram first, and then I'm gonna move to the questions here on YouTube. Let me see. The dates yeah, that one I answered already. Different types of rings, power rings, will be different lantern rings, and if so, how they will be different from one another. Yes, we will have different kinds of lantern rings, but the core rule book will present only the green lantern ring. But for the future, we are planning as expansions. We have kind of outlined already some of the expansions, and some of the dice, some of the rings, they already are outlined as well. We tested them in some actual plays here in Brazil. We have the yellow and the red ones already developed. But for the core rule book, you're gonna focus as part of the Justice League on the Green Lantern ring. The this Stars of Fire ring maybe can could come maybe could come as a stretch goal on Gamefound, because she's a very relevant character to the Justice League arc we are currently attached, and so probably gonna have her ring as a stretch goal on the live campaign on Gamefound. Yeah, well, there's a lot of questions. So Speed Force isn't gonna be part of the MetaHuman kit, not anymore. I mean, until the book go into the factory, to be printed, it's things can change. As it is right now, we're gonna have a different origin for speedsters and a different origin for metahumans, and metahumans have access to all powers but magic and the speed force. We're gonna have the homo magic, they have the magic, and we're gonna have the speedsters, they have the speed force. So as it is right now, it's kind of that. Will the crowdfunding reward dice be full sets that also includes D4, D10, and this? No, no. The game will bring two of each: two D6, two D8, two D12, and two D20. So you're gonna have eight dice on that set, and they will bring the dice that are used in the game. So you're gonna have the D6, the D8, the D12, and the 20, and they're gonna come within the set in pairs. So 2d6, 2d8, 2d12, and 2d20. Will there be dedicated source books following after the game's release, Golden Age era? Yes, that is something. That's something we are currently planning to. There is a DC has 85 years of history, and it would be really naive from us not to delve into those story and try to deepen our relation with that universe in different core book materials, source book materials per se. And we have those three original material book for the live campaign. But after the success that I expect, that is a success, I believe that will be a success. We're gonna have a full line of expansion for books, and we're gonna have ideas for a cosmic source book, a magic source book, and a Titans and the Golden Age era is also in discussion. So there are many material we are willing to and preparing, and some of them are outlined already to be part of the production of the game. So part of the whole set of material that comprises the Just League Unlimited role playing game. But one of the things that we've been mentioning in several interviews, and it's important to bring it here as well, is that the game will not bring characteristics to be played as villains. So the focus on the game is the focus on the heroism side of the superheroes. So everything we do will be centered around the concept that the players are heroes. So if you're gonna bring in materials, like gonna bring materials for Titans, you're gonna bring materials for the Green Lantern Corps, you're gonna bring all of them, but always with the idea in mind that the players will be playing as heroes. So will we have, I don't know, materials to play, I don't know, as villains and things like that? The people ask that a lot as well. That's not the plan for the material. The villains and the threats, the menace, they will be focused to the editor to be thrown against the characters. All right. I think I answered this guy. I mean, I've been looping around, but I think I've answered the question. Any chance of seeing some higher tier characters before the core rulebook, maybe Cyborg or Alan Scott as an example, since they have portal share? Yeah, we will after the conclusion of this double shot um of with Mark and his friends. We're gonna. I intended to release at least one or two of the character sheets they used. I mean, they were uh, specifically prepared for the actual play, so they are kind of stripped of several of their skills. They are very limited because the players they didn't have access to the material beforehand. So we just have a few minutes prior to start playing. The only one that knew the material was Mark. So all the others they were just seeing their character sheets for the first time. That's why we decided to give them a reduced version of the character sheet, and they could play with a less trouble that would be a full need of reading the material. And that's one of the things that shows how easy this game is to be played. Because many of you have contact with the DC universe for a long time, and you know the characters, you know the drill, you know the powers, and the game is really simple and straightforward. So if you get the character sheet, you have someone that knows it, you can read it, understand, and play it very, very easily. Good afternoon, Bad Tiger here. Tiger, could let us know if the parallax artifact will be available in the system? Yeah, we're gonna have several artifacts available on the book, but most of them we're still deciding the full extent of how we're gonna disclose them. We don't know all of them that will be on the book yet, but we're still deciding. And parallax wasn't on the list as I remember, but we're gonna have several very interesting artifacts there on the book. Uh, Continuing, I'm a fan of DC of over 40 years. I'll be back in DC when it drops. Thank you very much, very much. I would love of this also of Alchemy VTT or for when we can play in person, strategical option. Yeah, we got a exclusive deal with the Road 20 that we're playing. So thank you, Grey Ghost, to be with us, and so excited to back our game. But Alchemy, I think, is gonna be difficult, at least for the crowdfunding campaign. All the material will be all the digital material will be uh, available available for download on drive-through, and our main partner, an exclusive partner for VTT, it's the Bro 20. So all the material will be available via through Row 20. So during the live campaign, and for the upcoming forthcoming future, we're gonna use Row 20 as the main partner for VTT. All right. We're gonna homebrew our Legion of Doom campaigns. Yeah, that's not very difficult to do. You see that as soon as you have the book, you see that's nothing hard at all. Let me go here back to Discord. How different equipment options will be in the full game? Yeah, you're gonna have several equipments on the game. We're gonna have properties of the materials. Yeah, Nith metal and Prometheum. Yeah, we're gonna have the Kryptonium and all of that. They will be listed on the book as material. But the book doesn't focus too much on weapons. There's not much difference if you use a sword axe or a shotgun. They give you a slightly damage and the precision bonus to get your strike, but they're not very. It's not the weapons list. Oh, if I have this kind of weapon or that kind of weapon or a sword or an axe, it will be very. No, it's not. It's we don't want the players to rely heavily on equipment, in terms of damage output to do things. Of course, if you are a technological hero, you're gonna have access to several items to use, like the T spheres, like computers and like all things you can use to hack and do all the things a tech hero do. But we don't want to to it's not exactly waste, but we don't want to the book to be focused on different kinds of weapons. Could we get a complete list of archetypes and origins? Not now, because they are up to discussion yet. They're written, but we want to disclose it as closer to the live campaign. How much people can lift carry both with regular strength and super strength? That's really interesting, because the book brings no tables of strength capacity per se. Most of the things will be decided in a narrative way. So if you are a Kryptonian and you are super strong, there is no reason to know if you can, lift a train or a car. You just do it. And when the fiction demands, then the editor uh, requires asks the test from you. So you check your potency. But we have no tables of capacity of any sort. So how fast is Flash? He's super fast. He's super fast. You don't have to measure his speed, because that is something that would require a lot of pages, a lot of tables, a lot of things, and always we're gonna have people that are unhappy with the outcome. So with the book, you have the powers and they have grades, but the main reason of the game being so narrative designed is that we want to use your powers. Use your power freely. Don't be limited by the resolve cost. Just use your power. When you use specific abilities on your power grades, you spend the resolve. But if you are playing as a speedster and you want to run very fast, just do it. I remember there was an actual play we played here, and one of the guys was playing as Wally West, and there was a situation in a factory in China, and he had a dinner in his city, and he, you know, wanted to go to the action, run to his home, and then run back to his action. I mean, it's a very long distance, but again, he was the Flash. So why would I require tasks of him of something that was just narrative flavor, narrative driven situation? He just went there, did what he wanted to do. It doesn't change the outcome of the scene. It was just the player being goofy and then dork about the powers that he had. So he just went there, ate part of his dinner, and then went back to action. That's require no test. That's require no checks. That's require no table of speed to know how fast the Flash can go. And that is the kind of feeling we want you to have when you play the game. We don't want you to be so so attached to the numbers and the specific speeds or lift capacity of Superman, which would be impossible to measure, in fact. Just enjoy your powers, and anytime the situation requires a test, requires a check, requires that is an action that has a possible consequence, then you roll your specific attribute against the tension of the environment. So just use your power and enjoy being happy, being a superhero. Let's go. Makes sense. Hero power isn't consistent. Gotta keep with the story needs. Exactly that. Keep with the story needs. There was another question here. I guess it was on Discord, which was about the final book. If the book would have a chapter about the editor with advice, and that is one of the biggest chapters, chapters on the book. The editor one, it brings not only mechanical tips and the how to run a game, but in terms of the the philosophical aspect of being an editor, you're gonna have tips from Mark Waid there, because Mark has been writing stories for the last 40 years, and he shared some stories of how you as an editor should challenge your characters, challenge your heroes, but also how to deal with several situations that might come up during a table. So The editor chapter brings you kind of insights of how to tell stories that challenge heroes, how you challenge heroism, how you challenge the characters. Otherwise, your sessions will be like fist fight, and you don't want to go into a fist fight with Superman. If someone will play a very powerful Kryptonian, he's gonna punch everything his way and gonna be successful. So how you challenge that character? That's where the chapter of the editor brings you a lot of relevant information. It helps you to shape your narrative in a way that brings the most impactful story for your players. I was talking with I was with Mark 2 days ago talking about our expectations for the game, and we were talking in a kind of a press conference with some journalists, and he said that one thing that he wants with this game is that when after people play it, they feel like I was a superhero today. I saved someone. And I did something good. I did something meaningful, impactful. More than I killed some goblins. No, I saved people. I saved my city. I saved other heroes. I saved the planet. And that's what we want people to have in mind, to understand that they did something impactful as heroes. And the game brings a lot of that in terms of the job of the editor. And Mark helps you to with a lot of tips throughout the book to write your own stories that bring that Silver Age vibes, where everything is colorful, everything is hopeful, and you can, be impactful and helpful and change in the course of the story of things, just by your sheer power of goodness and ability to be a beacon of hope. You know, yeah, I'm pretty philosophical about superheroes because it's the theme that I really enjoy to talk about, and I want that game to bring you a new perspective on how to be a superhero. It's different being a super powered creature and being a superhero, because hero comes with a lot of responsibilities. You're selfless. You put yourself in front of the others. You step into the danger to save other people. You are their hope. When people look up to sky, they see you and they say, "Oh, I'm safe now." And that's what we want you as players to bring to your table. It's very easy to be a weapon, destroy things. It's very hard. It's very difficult to uh, have your mantle, have your cape, and that being a symbol, a beacon of hope, right? Continuing the questions on Discord what he had, pure RP scenes. You usually don't need much for game mechanics to use it for. Oh yeah, we have a part of the book called the interlude moments. And the interlude moments are moments where the characters are not fighting crime or villains or being superheroes. They are just to living their lives. It's the life without the cape. So, for example, you have that ball Gotham. You have, I don't know, an episode, an issue where you go to the beach and you have your school, you have your job in your regular ordinary life, and that are the interlude moments. Uh, where the characters are doing things they are not super heroic, they're just being themselves. And there's a whole session in the book explaining how to run interlude moments and what you can do there. It's not mechanical, but has a lot of buttons you can press to make things happen. Like, you can develop your skills, you can develop further a relationship between characters, you can recover your condition. So there are a lot of things you can do during an interlude moment, and it's more disclosed in that particular session on the book. It's a book of 350 pages, so uh, now, which is very very big. So there are a lot of things we learn throughout the years, and a lot of things that Mark brought to the table as comic book writer. That we know that if you want to tell a good comic book story, what kind of things you need, and that's what we brought to the editor chapter of the book. To help you to really shape something that is meaningful and impactful as a comic book story. It's your comic book story. It's yours and your friends. And when you done playing, you're gonna look to each other and say, yeah, we did great today, and it was a great comic book story. That's what we expect. All right. Love the Fringe episode 1, by the way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great to see those of awesome comic creators getting to be the heroes. You make a great editor starter as well. Thank you, guys. I was talking about that with Mark and Jeremy as well, because English is not my first language. So when I was about to play with them, as English is not my first language, I was really unsure if I would be able to bring the same kind of interaction and the fast-paced narrative-driven game that I like to play here with my friends in Brazil. And I was really happy to see that they got the same feeling. And it's even better to know that you, the audience, because in the end of the day, there is no reason to do streamed actual play if it's not thinking into the people that will eventually watch it. If it's not to be watched, if you're not thinking on the people that will watch it, there's no point in recording at all. So everything we do in terms of actual play, and we're gonna have several here. Now we changed completely our structure to run adventures in English. It's always focused on the people that are watching. Of course, we're playing with people that we enjoy each other, enjoy being together, and we are all friends here, and we enjoy a best time together playing in role-playing characters, of course. But that's the easy part. When we prepare something that's going to be live streamed, we are thinking on the people that will watch it. So we do it thinking on the people that, of course, will end up watching it. All right. Very well, very well. Let me see if you have more questions. Let me see here, more questions. There was a discussion here on Discord about the material. Right now, Spectre focused. Okay. Let me see if I have more. Yeah, we're gonna have writing advice from Mark. Yes, indeed, we're gonna have writing advice from Mark. Let me see if we have more questions on here, because we have questions also on Gamefound. Let me check here, because I wanna, as this is gonna be available after it ends on our YouTube. It can be a very good source of information for people wanting to know more about the game. Let's see, which language will the game be offered? Initially, it's we're gonna have Spanish, Portuguese, and English as languages available during the live campaign. Spanish, Portuguese, and English. We're still working to get more language to our books, but as it is, we're gonna start with Spanish, Portuguese, and English. I'll throw one. What's your favorite kind of character to play, Pat? I've been working with this game for more than a year now, and I had only one opportunity to be a player, not an editor. And it's very rare that I'm in position to be the player, which is a shame, because I really like to play. I mean, I'd rather be the editor, the GM, the game master. But I only had one opportunity to play, and the only opportunity to play, I've played as a merchant, because I really like John Jones and Megan and all the story of the tragic merchants that we have in DC universe, and I played as a merchant. It was a merchant. I believe I was detective. I think it was my archetype, detective. A Martian detective, because I really like the way that the mental powers are in the book. I really like how the telepathy and all the astral projection and everything that someone with a huge mental powers can do, and I really like how it's presented in the book. So I played as Martian. Let me see. Yeah, you see here on Gamefound, you have the questions like the choices, the moral choices for the characters. I'm assuming you could go as far as an anti-hero, but what about straight up villain? No. Yeah, the game is focusing on heroes. Everyone wants to do an evil campaign at some point. Yeah, that's something that is interesting because it's very easy to be evil in this game. Uh, because most of the games when people play, they usually they don't consider themselves as such, but they are the evil characters. When a Dungeon Dragon character go on a murder spree and kill monsters and kill enemies, without without any kind of a moral compass. Uh, it's kind of an evil thing to do, and it's easy to do that. It's easy to unleash your power. I'm very powerful. I can do anything I want. It's very easy to do that, and the game doesn't need any kind of rule to to do that. The rules they are here to make sure that you are the hero that the world needs. So if you want to play straight up villains, it's very easy. You just remove, all the barriers, all the things that keep the heroism at bay. So you just go there and smash people's face with your super strength. It's not that hard to do. The villains, on the other hand, in the book, they have several characteristics, special traits and characteristics that make them unique. For example, one of the things in the game that we haven't discussed yet, it's all the heroes in the game they use non-lethal damage. So if you are a hero of the Justice League, by pattern, by default, your damage is non-lethal. So if you punched a villain unconscious, he's just unconscious. He's not death. Dead. Almost. He doesn't die. Immediately. Better now. And if you wanna use lethal damage, you get an extra. You get advantage in your roll, and you get an extra die on your damage output. So you have if you wanna cause lethal damage, you have an extra die and you have advantage on your roll. But why would you do that? Because if you do that, you can be thrown off the league, and it's a terrible thing to do to kill the others. But it's there. The rule is there. The rule is there to the editor play and role play the villains. But if you wanna so badly to be a bad guy, an evil guy, the book you can use the same rules as we have for villains to your characters. I played one a few months ago. I played an adventure where I was the editor of the adventure, where all the characters they were the kids of famous villains, and they were trying to redeem themselves, for the crimes of their parents, and all of them they were powerful, and they were trying to get a better view, a better position in society by doing good things. They were striving to do good things, and it was really fun because it was very easy to them to tap into that evil source of power and do evil things. And some of them did that, and they immediately regret it. But it's a very interesting way to see the game as well. They were trained and taught and raised to be evil, but they chose to be good people, and that was their challenge to keep to the light path, instead of succumb to the dark. And it's a very good thing to play the game as well. Uh, Let me see if you have more questions, because I've been talking here for almost an hour now. Mm. Will be powers like transmutation and weather control. I mean, we have 75 powers on the book, and it's impossible with one book to get all the 85 years of DC history in terms of power. We did our best to be the most comprehensive as possible, but some powers they will be out of the common book. It's the reality of things. So. Um we have the material with 75 powers already, but I believe that for the future supplements, we're gonna have more powers being disclosed. For example, we can say here magic. The magic that is presented on the core rulebook, it's a very Zatanna style of magic. You know, if you want a more ritual or blood magic or things like that, demonic magic, uh, probably is gonna be on future materials, future books of the universe. The same with the rings of the lanterns. You know, if we're gonna present the Green Lantern, but my favorite lantern ring of a ring of power ring. It's the red ones. I love Atrocitus and I love his cats. They are awesome, and I really wanted to bring them to the book now, but we don't have enough pages to do everything we want, and we have to be the most comprehensive, but being smart with the pages usage. So some things they would have to be for future materials, but we're gonna have lots of power. Is the license with DC for anything more than just the initial books? Yeah, our license is not attached to quantity of material. That is something very nice of our contract with the Warner. Our license is not attached to amount of material. Our license amount is it's related more to how much we can sell. So if we are selling well, we can keep expanding our license, but we don't have only the DC license within that contract. DC is our second game on that contract. The first one was Lord of the Rings. We had a Lord of the Rings board game that got it was our first international campaign, and it got almost $1 million, very close to $1 million on the live campaign. And now we're gonna have Just League, and after Just League next year we're gonna have the fulfillment of Just League and Lord of the Rings, and next year we're gonna have our next book, RPG book, with the same engine, which is Ben 10. We are developing the Ben 10 official source material of tabletop RPG, and in Just League we're working with Mark Wade, and in Ben 10 we will be working with Man of Action. Man of Action will be developing the universe with us, designing new characters, designing new villains, and the planets, and the organizations and powers. So it's going to be a huge material as well. But right now our focus is to fully conclude the live campaign of Just League that's going to air on July 21st, and make as most as possible with it to show that is something very nice being done here, and we will be able to bring much more books to your table. So we're gonna have the cosmic ones, the magic ones, the titans ones, the just society ones. So there are a lot of possibilities we can do, and we want to explore all them. But in order to that happen, we need your support, because it's impossible to crowdfund without a crowd. And we have here on our campaign a social goal, which is if you bring more friends to follow the campaign, we can include things on the quick start already. So if we have 4,000 people, we have 4,000 people already. So I'm gonna run a poll to add a new extra hero to the quick start, and as soon as we get 5,000, we can add an extra villain to it. So invite your friends, people you know that like superheroes, that like tabletop RPGs, and bring them to follow the campaign, because you help us to make the biggest and best campaign as possible. All right. Okay then. With that said, I think I answered all the questions we had here. How many artifacts? I missed this one. How many artifacts we're gonna be available in the core rulebook? I don't know yet. I was working initially with a 52 because it's it's a number, and we wanted to run 52 items, but it's not final. It's not written in stone yet. So we're gonna have to decide which way we're gonna go with the artifacts. Okie dokie. I'm definitely in for this, especially with Mark Wade on board. Yeah, Mark is such a remarkable person. I mean, I was a fan of him prior to working with him, and usually to me, mostly that I talk to him very often. It's always a real challenge to keep the fanboy side at bay when I'm working with him, because I've read everything he wrote, and I'm a huge fan, and I really love the current run of this league and the action comics and the world's finest. It's my kind of story. It's the kind of story that I've been running as a GM in many different games. So he's such a special person, and such a gentleman, and of course, a real geek. Real nerd of the DC universe, which is amazing. So the D10s aren't used with the rules. No, they are not. They are not. We're gonna use only the D6, D8, D12, and D20. It's a decision we made to make the game as simple as possible, and to add a kind of a layer of simplicity that we don't want so many dice or be necessary to play. If you are playing like a D tier, you need only a D6 and a D20 to play. So just two dice, and you can play easily your adventures. So it's pretty straightforward. All right. Well, I guess I talked a lot. Next week we're gonna have the second part of the Fringe episode 2, Justice League Limited, and we're gonna have the next episode next week on Thursday, I guess Thursday. If I'm wrong, someone of my team will correct me in the comments. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for being so kind with our game and with us. It's a dream coming true to be a long time fan of the DC universe, and being able to work with Mark and all the DC team, and Dan Mora and Deodato and Christian Deuce, all those people, amazing artists, and it's such an honor to be here. And as part of part of the community, I was on that side during my entire life, and it's awesome to be here, bring that game to you guys, and telling that story together with you. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope we can do the biggest and most interesting campaign as possible. So thank you again for the time. See you as soon as possible. Bye.